The NDX Nasdaq 100 high-low daily chart shows that the 5 EMA in blue went above the 10 EMA in red today for a buy signal. And the question is, will the fat cap megatex carry us to a new plane of existence above here? This was already higher than these previous forays, and the intermediate term KST in the middle window and long-term KST in the bottom window are still neutralizing each other. However, the intermediate term is starting to plane out horizontal. It is below zero, negative 58.05. And if this hooks around, gets above the signal line, which is at negative 23.46 now over there on the left, if there's a crossover above zero, then I'd say that this is a new plane of existence we're headed to. If not, and it struggles to get anywhere near zero and doesn't go above its signal line here, then it's a short-term advance. The New York NYSE high-low is nowhere even near a buy signal. The ROC 12 is starting to hook around. It's at a low level, negative 29. It needs to get back plus or minus 5 from zero and then have the crossover of the 5 EMA above the 10 EMA in red to coincide with the ROC plus or minus 5 from zero. The intermediate term KST and long-term KST nowhere near getting above zero, let alone the signal line for the intermediate term KST, so these two are neutralizing each other. And the short-term KST is just now starting to pull back on the stick well below zero, negative 203.91. And the Nasdaq composite itself, its high-low, looks similar to the NYSEs that we just looked at. Starting to hook around. Now these EMAs are the third derivative here, so they are definitely way lagging. So you have to give it a few days. You can see that price. It doesn't really show it clearly in the thumbnail, but if you look in the main window, that pink line here is the Nasdaq 100, and this black line is the Nasdaq composite. So they're both pointed up, and you can see the Nasdaq 100 is definitely outperforming. So we have to give it a few days to see if it can have a buy signal here, but it looks like the big fat cap megatex are dictating the day here. And the KSTs are the same as the NYSE. Intermediate term and long term are neutralizing each other. It looks like the intermediate term for the Nasdaq composite is above zero. If it can stay above zero and hook around and get a crossover above the signal line, and then maybe we have something as the short-term KST is hooking around like the NYSE from a very low level, negative 255.33. And the Nasdaq composite Compq weekly high-low chart and new highs, new lows in the bottom window here. And while the new high and new low bearish divergence with price has been rectified, the new highs and new lows in the bottom window is headed in the wrong direction. So this is like a buddy of mine used to come around with his 62 Chevy back in the day, and he'd turn around with his hand out and say, "We ain't going nowhere without no gas." And I could say, we ain't going nowhere without some participation from the rest of the market besides the big fat cap megatex.